So this is a Bailey Pursuit 402, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate this to you visually in person and then get you to have a go at hooking up and unhooking the caravan from the car. 13-pin connection on this particular caravan for the front of the van. On either side at the front, you've got the two wind-down legs to stabilise the caravan. They are only there for stabilising the caravan, not lifting the caravan. So on either side at the front, you have your stabilising legs. You put the bar on and wind them down to the ground and touch them on the ground. You'd never lift the caravan with these legs, it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. You've then got your water pump connection. Blue trigger down and push and pull the pump away and push into place and release the trigger to lock the pump in. You need to make sure your acc roll is completely full prior to turning the water pump on, as if you don't, you will draw air up into the water system if the pump isn't in the water, sorry. Like I said, if it is in that air, it will potentially draw the air up inside the caravan and cause a airlock in the system. You've then got your heating and hot water flue. Heating and hot water flue is very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. And then you've got your motor mover on either side at the front, on either side of the van, which we'll demonstrate later in the video. We'll torque the wheel nuts prior to the caravan leaving site so you can see they've been tightened correctly, and we'll torque them and let you know what the torque setting is. Above that, you've got two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the fridge system to breathe, so it allows hot air out the back of the fridge unit, and then it takes in some cool air as well. On the top right hand side, you've got a gas flute for when the fridge is running on gas, and I'll show you how to turn the gas on once we go on to the opposite side of the caravan. This locker here, or flap here, you open this up, let the flap drop down, and you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to flushing the toilet system. This is your toilet flush tank. You will need to keep an eye on the level of this, or if it starts running dry and it's not pumping anything out, then you'll need to fill up this tank again at that point. Below that, you've got the toilet waste cassette. Orange handle, you pull it up. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees to tip the waste away. Grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. Then you've got your orange pressure relief button on the back of the cassette. This cassette will take 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid. The one at the top is 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid. Coming to the back of the caravan, on either side you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the van again, but they are just there for stabilising. Then coming down the door side, you've also got your main door for the caravan. Then in here you have your gas bottle. So the gold piece that you see on the side here is the regulator for the caravan. The pipework that comes up to the front of the bottle and to the top of the regulator is your pigtail, essentially, or gas pickup pipe. And then going in the front of the bottle, you've got your reverse thread fitments. This gets turned the opposite way to a standard gas, or to a standard bottle cap, for instance, to release it from the bottle. And on top of the bottle, you've got gas open and gas closed. So you need to turn the gas on anti-clockwise, and to turn the gas off, you turn it clockwise. So we'll leave the gas on, so when you arrive on site, you can ignite everything inside the caravan, should you wish to. You've then got your battery and your mains power lead coming into the caravan, so you always plug the power lead into the caravan, then turn the power on the wall. So here, for instance, we just have that connection just there on the wall, and we just turn the power on there once we've connected it to the side of the caravan. In that locker, you'll also see your motor mover power switch, which again we'll demonstrate later in this video. Coming onto the inside of the caravan now, as you come in the door on the left hand side, you've got your master power switch. So you turn this on and you'll have power to the inside of the caravan. Interior lights on and off on this top left hand switch, awning light on and off, and then your water pump switch, which I'll come back to in a moment and show you how this works. At the top, you've got your voltmeter for your 12 volt systems on board the caravan. So you're going to need to fill the water system up prior to doing anything else. So what I advise you do is come underneath the seat on the far right hand side of the caravan. You'll need to open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system as well, so we're just going to do that first. As you can see, there's already water in the system on this particular van. You can open all the taps up on the hot side, including your sink in the bathroom and your shower tap just down the side there. Now once you've got all of these taps open and you've come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the van and got the drop down valve in the right position, which will be just down the front here, so that yellow valve needs to be flat with the floor as it is at the moment. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, you'll drain all the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. We do advise you do this before travelling. So flat with the floor and all the taps open on the hot side. I'm only doing the kitchen one at the moment just because of the fact I've already filled the system up. So you'll come over to the water pump switch and turn the water pump on. Green light will come on to indicate the water pump is running. Now once the water system is completely full, you'll have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, as you can see now. And at that point, we shut all the taps back off, and then we can start thinking about warming the water on board the van. So to warm the water up on board the van, you need to turn the control panel on that says Troom on the front of it. So to do this, you press and hold the central button, and the control panel will come on. Top left hand side here, you've got an indicator a symbol, say room temperature, and you've got heating off and heating on as you turn the dial in the centre here. So that's the symbol you need to be on. To get into it, you press the central button here. We're going to turn the heating off for now. The next symbol you'll see is the boost for the heating and for the water system, or sorry, the water temperature. So you've got off, eco, hot, or boost, depending on what you're trying to do with the caravan. So the eco is just a temperature, so it keeps some temperature in the water system prior to trying to heat it up fully on the hot side. Hot does exactly what it says on the tin, so it keeps the water hot. And boost is for when you're showering on board the caravan, which I've just set it to. So when you arrive on site, the water system, is warm. You've then got your option for the power supply you want to use. So you've got gas. If it fails to ignite on gas, it'll come up with gas fail on the screen. Mix 1 is a combination of 1000 watts of electric and gas at the same time. Mix 2 is 2000 watts of electric and a combination of gas at the same time. Electric 1 is 1000 watts of electric on its own, and electric 2 is 2000 watts of power on its own. At the moment we're going to run it on electric 1. The next symbol across is to operate the blown air heating. So you press the central button, you've got off. Now at the moment this won't come on, but to select it normally, with the control panel turned on above the door, as I've just shown you how to do, you can come into the first option here, which is your room temperature. So you've got minus or plus for your heating. So spin the dial anti-clockwise and it will turn the heating down. Spin it clockwise, it will turn the heating up all the way up to 30 degrees. For now, we're just going to turn that off for now. The next option across to the right hand side, spin the dial across to the right and press the button in the centre. You've got your hot water, so you've got eco, hot, or boost. So the eco settings just so it ticks over nice and gradually. Hot for washing up, etc. And then you've got boost for when you're showering on board the van. If you set it to boost, it will kick in and it will start boosting the water system ready for when you're showering in the caravan. Next option across is the power source coming into the caravan. So you've got gas on its own. If it fails to ignite, it will come up with an error code on the screen here. Mix 1 is 1000 watts of electric and gas at the same time. Again, it will come up with a fail code if it fails to ignite. Mix 2 is 2000 watts of electric and gas at the same time. You've then got 1000 watts of electric on its own and 2000 watts of electric on its own. To set any of these, you press the central button and it will allow the heating system to kick in on the power source you have selected. If I spin the dial across to the end here and you've got the blown air system on, you can spin the dial to the right, hit the central button, and then you can turn on your blown air fans on board the caravan between 1 and 10 speed wise. That works very much like the heating in your car at that point. Down the bottom of the screen we have got some advanced settings. For these we do advise you read the manual that comes with the caravan. These are quite in depth, so you've got heating and hot water timer, time on the display on the front here, and then your advanced settings, which again for these we do advise you read the manual that comes with the van. The next thing we're going to go to is the fridge. The fridge is very simple to use. So you've got 240 mains power, and then you can control the temperature of the fridge if you're on mains power with the dial on the right hand side. You then have 12 volt mode, so the fridge will essentially operate on a 12 volt system from the car. It is not the 12 volt supply on board the caravan. And what you essentially do is connect to the car. If your connections are correct on your car and they're wired up correctly, turn it to the 12 volt mode and the fridge will act as a cool box as you're travelling down the road so the beer and wine's nice and cold. Spin the dial to the bottom and you can actually ignite the fridge on gas. So to do this, you press in the central button or the temperature button and hit the igniter at the same time. When it ignites on gas, the red line that you see on this on this little gauge here will come round into the green, and the red line essentially means that it has ignited on gas when it is in the green. Once it has ignited, we do advise you holding the temperature valve for 5 to 10 seconds just to allow it to warm up, then slowly release the valve and then keep an eye on the red line just to make sure it doesn't drop back out of the green. Obviously, if it's been on for a while and it drops out the green, it could potentially mean the gas bottle is empty. Microwave is a eco microwave, so it actually turns itself off between each use. So you press the eco button here and it will wake back up, as you can see here. The rest of the microwave works like a standard household microwave, but please remember, when you are travelling down the road, you do need to remove the microwave plate from inside of it. Hob, grill and oven all works very much like your household appliances, no difference at all there. Then coming into the bathroom, you have an electric flush in the toilet. You have a toilet full indicator light, so it illuminates red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, as you can see here. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from the side of the van to empty it, you need to make sure the toilet is in the straight on position. Then below the toilet you have the grey waste handle, which you need to push across to the right hand side to allow the waste into the cassette. And then when you're not using the toilet, you have it in the closed position, as you can see here. And again, this will allow you to remove the toilet waste cassette, but if it is open at all, then it will actually stop you from removing that cassette completely. So I'm just going to take you onto the outside now and demonstrate how to operate the motor mover. So inside the caravan you'll find a motor mover engagement bar, which is just down by the door. Open the door up and we'll go outside and I'll demonstrate how this mover works. So you need the motor mover engagement bar just here, which you'll put onto the side of the van, as you can see here. Extend the bar, pull it over and lock it into place. Once it's locked into place, you'll need to disconnect the power lead out the side of the van here. So once that power lead is disconnected, you can then put the power switch into place in the side of the van. Turn the switch 90 degrees so it turns the power on. You'll then press the 2 green buttons on the controller, and at that point you should be able to go with the nose drop down slightly. We should have forwards, so then you've got forwards, backwards, you've got your turns, and back this way, and the same at the rear of the caravan. Turn the controller off, you'll press the 2 green buttons. You'll then turn off your power in your side locker. So turn the power off and remove the key. Pull the handbrake on. Back up, so the legs down. And then disengage the mover from the side of the van. So that is the Bailey Pursuit 400. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.